Welcome back. So let's try and have a look at what we're actually going to build for the remainder of this entire course. And this is the goal right here. So we are going to have a two-tiered application. Tier 1, or the server tier over here, you can call it tier 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. This is the server tier. This is where we're going to work with the data, right? And this tier is going to contain a few things. So let's start out here. We're going to have the things you already have right now is the business logic layer, the data access layer, and a UI, and an entity package. You already have those ready. We are going to reuse those because why not use the code we just built? You're going to also have a REST API, and that's something you've not seen yet. It's pretty much a way for us to talk to the internet. That's kind of what it is, or talk to the wired, or talk to the cloud, whatever you want to call it. So it has information about how we can work with requests, HTTP requests, that's what we're going to use. It has information about how we can, where we actually want to go when a request is coming in. It knows, okay, so this is a request for actually getting all customers. It'll know that. And then it can go and grab the right service down here, grab the right unit of work, the right repository, get the data from the database, pass it all the way back through the layers, through the facades, and all the way over here. Now the really, really neat thing here is we're not going to change anything down here to switch from UI into using the REST API when we get to that point. We're not going to go there yet, but when we get to that point, it'll be very easy to make the switch, and that's powerful. What we're going to do is also, I'm going to destroy the entity layer right here. I want to instead make a customer down here that's going to be a pure entity. And that will pretty much mean for me that I'm going to give it some information about the database, very specific for the database. So it's going to have annotation for the database using the entity framework. And that's why I don't want it to float over here in the side where everybody can grab it, because it's going to have database specific information. So it doesn't belong in the UI, for instance. Then we're going to add customer business objects up here, which are going to know about the business logic. It's going to know more about how the objects are going to look from the business point of view, and they might be different. You'll see, they will be different. Then we are going to maybe, I don't know if we'll find time for this, but we could also add another type of object called the DTOs, and they will be for transferring data. They will make sure that we take what we have right here, the data, and convert it into real JSON or text that we can then send over the wire. So that's their role. So that's why we're going to have 2 or maybe even 3 different object types for a customer. You know, yeah, again, it's a lot of classes to maintain, but it makes sense when we get to it. So that's kind of what we're going to do with this. So the only thing we're kind of missing is figuring out this part, changing the way the entity works, and maybe we also want to make a real database at some point. Yes, we do. So that's also part of this series. So we're going to do all of that in this series. But what else is in there? Have a look at the next lesson and you'll see what else we're going to use before we start actually working with all of this. Have fun.